Ready.
Rolling.
Okay, just welcome everyone for the auction day today for 27 Stockveld Street in Sunbury. I'm just going to do the last inspection before we start with the auction. We've already opened the house half an hour before the time of the auction. So we've done the last inspection report 3 days ago with the owner together. But now I just want to show you the house. So if you come back with me and we'll just have a look at what we've got here. Walking in, we've got a fairly generous lounge with quite a few nice windows. Unfortunately it's dark at the moment, but during the day it's quite sunny in here. And as we walk through, we have a second lounge here, or sometimes people might convert this into a dining room, but you could use it as an open space like this. Walking through here, we have another little rumpus room which leads up onto the garden, and around the corner here we've got the kitchen, which is a quite nice laminated kitchen. It's got the bar here for people to sit and have the breakfast. It's got the dishwasher, gas cooktops, and electric oven. So it's quite spacious for this size home, which is a 3-bedroom plus study or a 4-bedroom home. The utility room over here with the laundry trough and so forth leading into the garden. So we've got that here, like we've got a linen cupboard, and walking down the corridor we've got a family bath, which is quite spacious here with a shower, separate shower here, and the bathtub here on the opposite side. So that's great. Separate toilet and a vanity unit there. So we leave that open for people to come. Now at the rear here we have 3 bedrooms. The master, which has got a walk-through ensuite and bath with a separate shower and toilet at the rear. So even though it's not up to date, but it's quite spacious and cupboard space is ample. Got another small linen cupboard, and this is bedroom number 2 with a built-in robe. So quite spacious. As you can see, it's a double bed, fits quite easily. So that's that one. And this one here, which is the 3rd bedroom, it's been converted into a study, but it's got the built-in robes as well. So that's quite, can be utilised as a bedroom or a study, whichever way. So coming back this way, down the corridor, we've got 1/4 bedroom or study, which this one is organised as a study. Because it hasn't got a built-in robe, so it's practically 3-bedroom and a study. So that's the home, and moving on to preparation for the auction. We have a couple of documents here that we need to discuss. So the most important part or document here that we've got is obviously the contract of sale for this particular property, and it has got the vendor statement, the section 32 included, which the vendor has signed. So if I just show that to you, there's a signature and everything for section 32, and the contract of sale. So this we need 5 copies of for the day of the sale, which is today, and we've got that prepared. Now, in regards to the advertising and marketing, we've got a couple of items that we need for auction. I haven't got an auction board here, but this is practically what we've put on the street to advise people where the auction will be. So we do have a bit of a flag that's hanging out. I've brought it inside because outside it's dark now, we can't take any photos. So there is the flag of our company within auction today written on it. So that's that. We do have our marketing brochures. Now that's the company brochures with our address, the agent, the selling agent, and you know, just the general advertisements. We do have a bidder's record of all the people that have pre-signed and registered. So it's blank at the moment, but that is generally filled in. And then we will have a record of attendance. So one of our staff members will take down everyone that's attended this auction today. And the bidder's record will then also be updated as the bids will come in throughout the auction. Now, once the auction starts, we will use a bell to gather everyone around and ensure that we get their attention. Once the auction is finished, hopefully we can gavel down the price that it is sold. If it's not sold, we will not use this. So that's the thing. So that's the couple of props that we use. And now the other thing is we do have from the RAAV, we need to by law lay out for the bidders to have a look at these particular regulations. So we have the Schedule 4 for all vendors to intend to bid to purchase. One vendor intends to bid to purchase. General rules for the conduct of a public auction. And some vendors intend to bid to purchase. So these are by legislation, we need to have those. We also have a due diligence sheet, which is part of the contract, just to make sure that vendors are familiar with what they need to do. And let's have a look. The due diligence checklist. So that's quite important to make that available to potential purchasers. Okay. Now, I've explained all of these props here that we're using. Now, in regards to the roles and responsibility of our staff, I just want to ask if anyone has got any questions. I will be assisting the auctioneer, and I will act as the auctioneer in part just for this particular video. But other than that, we have got some staff outside just to act as security to ensure that people coming into the home will not take anything and just make sure that things are secure. So moving on from there, the rules of the auction include what I was just saying there, but I will read out some other rules in a minute. Before I go on to that, it's the vendor bidding is allowed, but it's only allowed by the auctioneer. So the vendor itself can't bid, it's just the auctioneer has the discretion on that. The identification of the bidders we have done through the bidder's record. We've allocated numbers, so when the bidding starts, the numbers will just show and we'll take those down. There's no cooling off period at an auction, so not like at a normal contract of sale. So this is an auction, so there's no cooling off. And if there's any disruption to the auction, then we'll have to, just pass it in. So we can't continue on if there is a revolt or something like that going on. The estimated selling price in this particular home is about $370,000, and the reserve price has been set at $350,000. So what that means is at $350,000, generally the house will be on the market officially, and whatever the bidding achieves above $350,000 will then, if it's gavelled down, will then be the final selling price. So there's a little bit of a gap there, but the vendors are happy to let it go after it reaches $350,000. So if the property is knocked down, then we will obviously fill out the paperwork, and 10% deposit will have to be put down by the successful bidder. And if the property is passed in, then we will just see who's the highest bidder and maybe negotiate with them privately on the side. So they're the possibilities that are open. I just want to read the speech that we normally say at the beginning of each auction, which is before we begin formal proceedings. By law, I must advise that today's auction will be conducted in accordance with the rules in Schedule 1 of the Sale of Land Regulations 2005 and any additional conditions that were made available for inspection before the start of the auction. All viewings of the property has received a brochure with an attached due diligence page. The auction rules permit the making of bids on behalf of the vendor. The law prohibits the making of vendor bids other than by the auctioneer. During the auctioneer will say vendor bid when making bids on the vendor's behalf. The auctioneer will indicate bidders on request. And the law prohibits a person from falsely claiming or falsely acknowledging that he or she made a bid. The law prohibits an intending bidder or a person acting on behalf of an intending bidder from intentionally preventing or causing a major disruption to the auction. The law provides for substantial penalties for any person who engages in prohibited conduct. So that just reiterates, like, if there is a disruption, there is actually penalties attached to that. The rules for the conduct of today's auctions are as follows. The auctioneer may make one or more bids on behalf of the vendor or at any time during the auction. The auctioneer may refuse any bid. The auctioneer may determine the amount by which the bidding is to be advanced. The auctioneer may withdraw the property from sale at any time. The auctioneer may refer a bid to the vendor at any time before the conclusion of the auction. In the event of a dispute concerning a bid, the auctioneer may resubmit the property for sale at the last undisputed bid or start the bidding again. And if a reserve price has been set for the property and the property is passed in below the reserve price, the vendor will first negotiate with the highest bidder for the purchase of the property. So RAV members are also bound by the RAV Code of Conduct, which this auctioneer is. Before we start the bidding, advise you that this auction will be conducted subject to the vendor's reserve price. Okay, so then we can start reading the first page of the contract, which is just allowing here the particulars of sale. The vendor is Wonderful Homes, and the vendor's details are 118 Graham Street, Sunshine. The vendor's legal practitioner are Vicklands Conveyancing in Campbellfield, Victoria. And so that way you understand who the agency. We at CityServe Real Estate, we are acting on behalf of the vendor, and my name is Sabine, and I'm the listing agent for this particular property, and my boss Jim Smythe is the auctioneer for the day. So that's that. Now we have a deposit of 10% to be paid today for the successful bidder, and the settlement terms are 60 days proposed, but they are negotiable. So if someone wants to settle earlier, the property is available within about 30 days. So the main features of this property, just to get going again, it's a beautiful block of land of about 750 square meters. We have got big, huge rooms for the living rooms. We've got the 3 good-sized bedrooms. We've got a separate bathroom for the family and an ensuite. We have got a nice carport outside, and we're in a very popular street of Sunbury. So we have about 50 metres to the kindergarten, about 150 metres the other side to the primary school, and we are very close to public transport. We've got the bus within walking distance of shops as well. So if you have got any questions at this point in time, please feel free to ask before we start the official auction. Does anyone need any clarification in regards to the roles of the agency personnel? Please ask now. Okay, then we start officially the bidding, and I'll pass over to Jim over there to get rolling. So the auction is taking place, and the price movement is being recorded by a staff member, Claire. She's actually holding the clipboard, and the minute someone puts the number up, Claire will record where the bid is at. I think Jim is starting off at about 320, and it's slowly moving up. So Claire's already noted the first bid of 330. She's written it in the log. and that she will continue to do so until the auction concludes. So the increments of the bids are about $10,000 any one time. So it's now at 330, 340, and it's a little bit slow now. Okay, and we keep going with 350, and there's other bidders over there. I can see another one over there. So the increments are going slower to about $5,000 each bid. And I can hear now that the price has been knocked down at about $375, which is a great outcome, and which is $25,000 over the reserve price. And the property was on the market at $350, but now it's been sold at $375. Okay, thank you very much, and that's it for now. I will say congratulations to the buyer.